Welcome to Canvas of the Heart, presented by Free Arts for Abused Children of Arizona. The mission of Free Arts is to transform children's trauma to resilience through the arts. This show is a collection of conversations that spotlight the ways Free Arts creates hope for children and teens who've experienced abuse, neglect, or homelessness. We hope you find this show to be informative, inspiring, and fun. Welcome back to Canvas of the Heart. I am joined today by B and Justin from our development and marketing team at Free Arts. And we're here to talk about an important thing to Free Arts and ultimately to our everyone we serve and work with, which is putting the fun back in fundraising, like thinking about Free Arts as a cause that is worth your time, your talent, and your treasures. So I'd like to start first with just some introduction. Justin, then B, tell us a little bit about what you do at Free Arts.
I've been at Free Arts for almost coming up on 5 years here. I sit in the development team. I'm the director of marketing and development, and I try to make Free Arts look good and make sure our team's out there making Free Arts good and trying to get some funds for making sure that we can keep our wonderful programming that we offer to participants that we serve available and improve upon it and do research about it and all these exciting things that Free Arts is looking to do in the next 30 years. And so today on this Giving Tuesday, I'm looking forward to kind of talking about like what your funds can do and some of our exciting expansions that we have coming up. And there's a lot of big things changing at Free Arts right now, which a lot of you might have known about our gala last month and things like that. And money helps put those things on, helps us spread the word, but it also helps us put some skills with our volunteers to talk to our participants and everything and help them get to that resilience level.
Excellent. Thank you, Justin. B?
Hi, my name is B. Bohannon, and I am our development coordinator. And I am specialized on our annual giving campaign. So it's just making touch points and connections with our individual donors, our recurring donors. And my favorite thing that I get to do is I get to educate people about the great work that Free Arts does and inform people about what we do. That's the simple answer of what I do.
Thanks, B. And we're releasing this episode on an important day in the calendar for charitable fundraising. It is Giving Tuesday when this is released and being open for many of our listeners and viewers. What's Giving Tuesday, Justin?
Giving Tuesday is a day that was developed in 2012. So there's Black Friday, there's all these things. We're coming into the holiday season. It's a good time to start thinking about charities and being charitable and end of year giving. And there's a nationwide movement that started to kind of, let's make a day like Black Friday, but for charities and to give to the causes that matter to you, to make sure you get it done before the end of the year and get lost in the holiday season. It's just a good day of philanthropy and feeling good to be a productive part of the community to help fiscally support some of your favorite causes.
Right. It's always the Tuesday that follows Thanksgiving. Yep. Right. So Giving Tuesday, you count it every year of knowing where it's going to land. And so we're glad that you're spending some time of that Tuesday with us. And I have a question for you, B, that relates. Why does Free Arts raise money in your view? Why go through this effort?
We are a nonprofit, which means that all of what we provide, our services, is all paid by a generous community of donors. And that means that our annual and monthly payments on lights and electricity at Parsons Place all comes from viewers like you and donors. And, that's huge for us because for every $5 spent, $4 of that goes to our great programming, but $1 of that goes towards these operational expenses that help us do this and help us provide our services to partner agencies for free, for zero cost to them. I would hate to have to charge people for what we do.
It's in the title, right? We call it Free Arts for a reason. And the percentages you're sharing are accurate and important that a high percentage of our programming is the recipient of the funds raised. And then the rest, that's admin, overhead, those are still important, necessary costs to having an organization that operates, right? So in a sense, everything is directly related to the cause, often some of it directly to the art supply, to a paid artist, to a staff coordinator, and in other areas, it's the lights, it's the AC, it's making the environment hospitable, it's paying for the podcast, right?
Right.
Those things all matter. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, it pays for these partnerships we have too, because I know last week we just talked about this wonderful work we have doing with Indigo and getting some true like scientific data about what we do. And in order to have those partnerships happen, we need money and funding to further our research and look at the science behind why art plus mentors equals resilience. So I think that's really important to make sure we can go into that area of being thought leaders and having the resources to be thought leaders, to make sure that our volunteers have the right tools to connect with the participants that we serve, be it families, be it children, different ages of children, different lifestyle backgrounds, and make sure they're knowledgeable and they can really make those connections and make sure that we get to the results that we want to see. And we stay true to our word that way. And same with staff. We have to make sure like our staff is trained. And this is heavy stuff we're doing. I mean, it looks like fun on the outside and stuff, but when you start talking about ACEs and you start talking about some of these other various serious matters, you need to have the right skills to do it. And that's where your funding helps us out with that.
Thanks, Justin. B, next question's for you. In your role relating to talking to, getting to know donors, what do you find are some common reasons, common themes about why the Free Arts donor gives to the cause? What motivates them?
I really think that there are multiple causes and multiple motivations for donors. I think a lot of people are drawn to the work that we do specifically with arts, and they will come in through the door thinking, oh, yeah, this is an arts organization. I've never actually heard someone who hears our mission who thinks, wow, that's a bad idea. You know, when you think about the fact that we're providing these children that are going through so much with intentional art activities and intentional and volunteer caring adult mentors, it's a no-brainer. And when people get through that first initial, oh yeah, I support the arts and I support children, and they realize, wow, both of these things can work together, they just really become great supporters of our cause. The other big thing that brings donors in and motivates donors is what we're talking about today, is the foster care tax credit. And that's a great entry point for a lot of donors to our work and to our mission. They might meet with their CPA, they might meet with their financial advisor and look through a list of, I think I just checked earlier today, there are 53 qualified foster care organizations in the state of Arizona that can receive that QFCO tax credit. And they'll look through that list and they'll jump and they'll see, oh, arts. I think we're the only one in there with arts in the name. And you know, you make your donation, you receive your tax credit. But then, like I said earlier, there's that level of education that you receive. And it's kind of what this podcast does too, is it is a great resource for people to dive deeper and get more inspired by the wonderful work that happens here every day.
I would agree with that. And like, it's especially like you make that donation. A lot of times you're doing it for the tax credit, but it opens the door to learning about these issues that are going on right now and why they're important and what the participants might be going through right now, and learning about our own mental health. And mental health is a big thing to talk about these days, and it's a pretty hot topic.
Absolutely.
And we're starting to look at mindfulness and trauma-informed care. And, you know, they get their tax credit donations, they start getting some information about free arts, and then they start thinking about themselves and their place in the world as well and how they can further help. One of the best reasons why we've been around for 30 years, and another reason is now that we've been around for 30 years and why we have so many donors that come back is free arts is a lot of these donors know that free arts knows how to steward their money well. And a lot of other nonprofits, you know, that's sometimes there's some issues or you're not quite sure where your money is going, but Free Arts is pretty transparent about where their money's going. You can see the results. You can see that we're trying to scientifically prove our results, and, you know, you can see our numbers, and we're a good steward of our money. We're just not, there's not Ferraris in our parking lot out there, you know? I mean, so it's going to our programming. It's going to help this population, and our longtime donors know that, and they just keep on coming back. The best way people find out about us is through friends of Free Arts, former donors or current donors. I shouldn't say former because most of them say current. Former volunteers, current volunteers, former board members, staff. That's how this word spreads. And so if we can just get it out there a little bit more, I mean, people's like, oh yeah, that is a good organization. You know, I might have heard about it from my friend a couple of years ago. If I go back and talk to them, maybe I'll research it a bit more, and then they learn about this whole world that they need not even know about, of like I said, mindfulness, trauma-informed care, and maybe that they connect that with like a news article they read or a news spot, and then they see how much the organizations growed and expanded the program, and they're like, I guess the dollars there go to something, you know. And we started what first year we served 50 kids, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's 50 kids, and now in 30 years we've served over 150,000 children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
just amazing.
It's
growth.
amazing. Yeah. And so you can see that those dollars helped make that difference.
Yep. Powerful. You both have mentioned in our short discussion terms like tax credit, tax deduction. Can we go back to this unique opportunity around foster care and just break it down simply for those who may not know, have not done this before? What is the tax credit system that supports foster care serving agencies like Free Arts?
Back in 1997, Arizona started to roll out a system of having tax credits. And this initially was for schools, for private schools, for public schools. You often hear about QCOs of qualified charitable organizations. But in the 2010s, with the state of the foster care system in Arizona, they wanted to give some more emphasis on how we can improve and how citizens can delegate where their tax dollars are going. And there was this need to improve the foster care system. So the state decided to institute a qualified foster care tax credit. And that specifically means, in simple terms, that if you have a liability on your taxes, you get your tax return and you owe money, you file your taxes and you owe money, you can make a charitable donation and you can take a credit on that. So some important things to remember about that are that if you're filing singly, the maximum credit that you can take on a QFCO gift is $526. But if you're filing jointly, you're married and you're filing joint, you can take a credit of $1,051. And those numbers sound a little clunky and weird. And it is because they're clunky and weird. They actually used to be $500 and $1,000. But to account for inflation, the state decided to bump these numbers up in 2023. And I believe they are going to continue to be going up. I looked at some projections for 2024, and they are continuing to rise. But that's just some simple history about that.
And I think we need to talk about a little bit about like what your tax obligation means and what that means. I mean, people's are like, oh, I'm going to be getting some money back, or I might owe on my taxes. But it really comes down to we rely on returns and things like that, but it's your liability of how much money, even before your refund, that the state is taking away from you. So if you are giving any taxes at all from your paycheck and you're not getting a 100% refund, you have a liability, and you can put that, you have the power to put that money into any cause that you find personally desirable with these tax credits. So if you're passionate about Free Arts and you can do that. You can give your money that you're giving to the state, and you can say, I want that $526 if you're filing single to go to free arts. And that way you get that $526 back when you file. So it's kind of like you're taking a loan against your own taxes for a bit. You will see that credit come back to you. The other thing also about it is it comes down to this whole, like, you get to decide if you have that liability. You get to decide of what qualified charitable organization you want to give to, and what charitable foster care organization or school organization. And you can stack these credits as long as you don't exceed your liability. So just because you might have given some donations to your kid's school, you can also still give to free arts as well. Or maybe another QCO that you gave to. You can still give your...
Yeah. Many people listening don't need to pick between them. They can give to as many as...
And that's a big question we get a lot of time. Like, well, I already give to my kid's school. I'm like, well, that's in a different category.
Different column.
Yep. Different category. You can stack those credits however much you want to.
Great. Thank you both for those explanations. I'm wondering what your goal today is in Giving Tuesday. What's your goal?
Our goal for Giving Tuesday this year is to raise $30,000. And 30, as Justin has mentioned, it's our 30th anniversary. It has a special connotation of raising that amount. That's $30,000 donations. That's 30 tax credit donations.
What is the goal overall for the tax credit throughout the season?
The goal on the tax credit throughout the season is just create this entry point where everyone wins. You get a credit. We can continue our programs and services. We receive funding. We can keep the lights on at Parsons Place. We don't have to do mentor trainings in the dark. And you can tune in and learn more about what Free Arts is doing and find other ways to be involved. You can even sign up for those mentor orientations. The goal is to bring new people into the organization and bring people who care about our cause together.
It's important to remember that if you're a donor, if you're a giver, if you take advantage of the tax credit, and other residents of Arizona, they get the same benefit. So this is something to tell your friends about, your family about, the people who, begrudgingly go about their taxes at the last minute. They may not have a strategy that includes this. And so you're really giving the gift to Free Arts and giving them the opportunity to choose a destination for some of their tax dollars. And that's something that you could help us with. I'm wondering, Justin, if you could kind of point us to how somebody who's motivated today can donate directly to Free Arts.
You can always go to our website, freeartsaz.org/donate, and that'll take you right there. Or I believe right now we're going to insert a little QR code right now. You can just scan on your phone if you're watching this on your laptop or something like that, and scan that in. It'll take you right to our donation page.
You can call us here at 602-258-8100.
And the number's on the screen.
Excellent. Thank you both. So to kind of humanize our experience here, you both get the wheel.
Oh, my goodness.
The whirl of wheel. It's the whirl of fun, and we'll spin for you, B. But each of you get one. Again, the wheel is made up of our value statements and elements of our pyramid in which you get to give us a personal answer up to your level of comfort around your experience with any of these ideas. So go ahead, Justin. Let's do yours first.
Let's do it.
Self-expression.
Self-expression.
Yeah. What is an opportunity that you've had recently to cultivate that sense that my voice matters, my input matters, my art matters? How have you shared that?
I think I got to participate as a pretty fun character at our 30th gala just a few days ago, when I got to dress up as Doc Brown from Back to the Future. And that was pretty fun to be imaginative and be someone else for the other night. And then the following night, I was actually out there DJing, so be able to...
DJ Doc Brown?
DJ Doc Brown. Yeah. That's my new name, DJ Doc Brown. We'll go with that. And that was fun. But, I think also just like there's so many avenues that here at Free Arts that I've been able to help grow and help with staff and move along. And I just think there's work here is kind of like you're creating something here. You're creating, helping create programs. You're helping create new ways for free arts to be seen and learned about. You're creating new ways to raise money. And I every day I come here, there's a new way to do some self-expression for sure.
Excellent. All right, Justin, spin it for B.
All right.
You got skill building, B.
Skill building.
What's a skill that you are proud to have developed over time that has had great meaning to you or some level of meaning to you?
In my time at Free Arts, I have really done a lot of skill building and a lot of learning about technology and softwares and client relation managers. And it's been a doozy. There are some days where it feels easier than other days. And, but ultimately, I just love to learn. And, every time that there's some wall that I run into with we use, as our CRM, we use Salesforce, and there's a wall or a question, and I see it as a puzzle, and I'll go ahead and I'll look up and I'll I call it the YouTube University, or I go on Google and I search forums to see how can I solve this puzzle? How can I get through this wall that's keeping me or someone I work with from doing what they need to do? And yeah, you do that enough times and you really start to put together some skills and build some long-term skills that can then have you be a resource to other people in our organization.
Sounds awesome. I appreciate both of your answers. It's been wonderful to have you on here talking about the fact that giving to free arts is a fun and has elements of advantage to you and strategy around your finances while having an important impact on the work that we do, which is important to you from the bottom of your heart. And so thank you, Justin. Thank you, B, for being on the podcast today to talk about Giving Tuesday, tax credit opportunities, and the overall importance of fundraising at Free Arts. We appreciate your time. So our listeners and our viewers, please like and subscribe. Give us reviews. It helps the algorithms. It makes Canvas of the Heart come out into real life and helps us attract more people to get involved in an awesome organization. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of Canvas of the Heart. We'd love to hear your questions and feedback by email at hello@freeartsaz.org. You can find more information about Free Arts by visiting our website at freeartsaz.org. We'd like to thank the many individual and corporate donors and the hundreds of volunteers that make Free Arts programs possible. Take care, and we will talk to you soon.